Russian hackers have bamboozled, led astray, stolen from US investors, and in this video I'm going to talk about how they did it, how did Israel intelligence contribute in uncovering this Russian hacking ring, and the history that Russian hackers have with the United States, okay? So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going dark. How Russians stole from US investors. So Russian hackers led by Vladislav
My lord.
Vladislav
Klyushin,
hopefully I'm saying that right, orchestrated a significant insider trading scheme that defrauded US investors of millions of dollars. Klyushin owned a cybersecurity firm in Moscow called M13, which served as a front for a sophisticated hacking operation. This operation involved infiltrating American corporations to obtain confidential information, which was then used for illegal trading on Wall Street, generating, here it is, over 90 million in illicit profits. The scheme targeted stocks of major American companies like Tesla and other high-tech firms. The operation was not only financially motivated, but also part of a broader Russian strategy to undermine Western economies, as described by a former Russian intelligence officer. This insider trading, right, was facilitated by a network of Russian spies and hackers who exploited their access to sensitive financial information for personal and governmental gain. Klyushin's activities were eventually uncovered, leading to his arrest and imprisonment in the US. However, he was recently released as part of a multinational prisoner exchange between US, Russia, and other countries. This case highlights the vulnerabilities in the financial systems and the ongoing geopolitical tensions where financial markets are used as a battleground. Before I proceed, please take a moment right now. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button and the subscribe button. So how did Israeli intelligence contribute to uncovering this Russian hacking ring? So Israeli intelligence played, they infiltrated the network of Casper Sky lab, which is a Russian cybersecurity company. We know about that story, right? Israeli operatives discovered that Russian government hackers were using Casper Sky's antivirus software as a tool to search for and steal classified information from US computers. This software, used by millions globally, including US government agencies, allowed the hackers to access sensitive data stored on computers with Casper Sky protection. Upon discovering this activity, Israeli intelligence promptly informed the United States, leading to significant actions such as the removal of Casper Sky software from the US government systems. We know about that story, right? The Israeli findings revealed that the Russian hackers had managed to obtain hacking tools from the National Security Agency, NSA, which were stored on a personal computer with Casper Sky software. This breach highlighted the potential for the Russian intelligence service to conduct cyber attacks against US networks using the compromised software, right? Russia hackers using the Russian, that compromised software. So there's a history, right, between Russian hackers and US. So here are some of the key events that you, me, everyone needs to pay attention to. So there is what is called the Moonlight Maze, right? That operation from 1996 to 1999 involved Russian state-sponsored hackers targeting NASA, the Pentagon, and other US government agencies. In 2008, Russian language threat actors were connected to a cyber attack on the United States. In 2015, Russian hackers were suspected of penetrating sensitive parts of the White House and the State Department's email systems, marking significant intrusions into US government systems. Now, what's important to understand here, guy, is just because a cyber attack is over doesn't mean it's really over, because we don't know what information they have and what information they're storing for future use. You have election interference and high-profile hacks. In 2016, it was widely discussed that Russian hackers were implicated in the release of hacked emails from the Democratic National Committee and other political figures, aiming to influence the US presidential election. You have the SolarWinds hack in 2020, attributed to the Russian group APT-29. Cozy Bear breached multiple US government agencies, including the Treasury and Commerce departments. You have the critical infrastructure and financial targets, right? In 2018, Russian government cyber actors were reported to have targeted US energy sector networks and other critical infrastructure. You have the Colonial Pipeline ransomware attack in 2021 by the Russian-linked group DarkSide was the largest cyber attack on U.S. energy infrastructure. In 2024, this year, the U.S. sanctioned members of the Cyber Army of Russia Reborn, also known as the CARR, for hacking water facilities and other critical infrastructure in the U.S. So some of the motivation and tactics are often, Russian security service, they carry out attacks on banks and government agencies, right? Their motivations, they can be political or financial, right? War is not only guns and bullets, war is also cyber now. There's cyber warfare going on. The US has increasingly used sanctions as a tool to deter these cyber activities. This history illustrates, right, the persistence, right? What I'm talking about, it illustrates the persistent and evolving threat posed by Russian hackers to US national security, critical infrastructure, and political processes. So what has America done to counter these Russian cyber threats? So the United States has implemented a range of measures to counter cyber threats, focusing on enhancing cybersecurity defenses and collaborating with international partners. The key actions taken was, infrastructure, right? The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA, provides guidance and resources to protect critical infrastructure against Russian state-sponsored cyber activities. This includes prioritizing the patching of known vulnerabilities and enforcing multi-factor authentication. You have executive orders and public-private partnerships. The Biden-Harris administration has issued executive orders to modernize federal cybersecurity defenses and improve the security of widely used technologies. Public-private action plans have been launched to enhance the cybersecurity, of sectors like electricity, pipelines, and water. You have international collaboration, right? The US has worked with allies including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and the UK to release joint cybersecurity advisories. These advisories aim to warn organizations about potential Russian cyber threats and provide recommendations for protection. Now, whenever there's certain things involved to deter, sanctions is going to be part of it, right? And legal action. So the effectiveness of U.S. economic sanctions in deterring Russian cyber attacks is a complex issue with mixed results. You have the challenges with sanctions evasion, right? Sanctioned entities have increasingly used digital assets like cryptocurrencies to evade the impacts of U.S. sanctions, making it difficult to fully restrict their financial activities. Digital assets allow for rapid cross-border value transfers and provide a level of anonymity, right? Complicating enforcement efforts. You have the impact on cyber criminal operations. So while sanctions can make it more difficult for cyber criminals to launch money and access their illicit gains, their direct impact on individuals based in countries like Russia, where law enforcement reach is limited, is often constrained. This limitation can result in skepticism regarding the practical benefits of sanctions, as they might not effectively prevent further cyber attacks. Okay. That could be another thing too, right? The motivation for, defrauding the American financial system, right? Because they're getting sanctioned. So that money has to come from somewhere, right? That's an incentive, if you will. That could be a very, very good incentive for Russian hackers to $90 million, guys, $90 million. So you have political and diplomatic significance, right? Sanctions serve as a political tool to hold cyber threat actors accountable and signal consequences for malicious activities. However, their deterrent effect on cyber attacks is often debated, as attribution and enforcement remain challenging, right? So the US, they had their hands up like this. They have their hands up, right? The US government urges companies to implement cybersecurity measures, like multi-factor authentication, deploying modern security tools, and ensuring systems are patched against vulnerabilities, right? Companies are also encouraged to, back up data, encrypt information, and engage with local FBI or CISA offices for proactive cybersecurity measures. So that is what I have for you today. Please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button and the like button. Once again, please take a moment right now to hit that subscribe button and the like button if you like this video. I appreciate your viewership. Stay safe and see you in the next video.